Pinche Songo, Ayani TV Chat Chicos, Cynthia Moman, Tommy TV Touch Baby Dewados, Joga, EG Psychology, Hojo. Hello everyone, my name is Ayani TV. I am 2223 Miss Seminole Nation. I am a psychology major. I belong to the Paula Band and the Deer Clan, and it's so nice to see everyone today. Meadow.
Open up the floor for any questions for the Princess Committee. Representative Cleveland.
Hello, my name is Olivia. I am 2022-2023 Mormon Seminole in Oklahoma.
We may need, when we share the mics for the council representatives, turn it. I can turn it. You got any questions? I have a report of some kind. Council. Maybe where you're going today.
Pinche Songo, American Church of the Scandiac Middle, Amajoga Bali Ibagan, SK Seminole Moment Navajo OS, Edmond, Oklahoma Lagos. Hi everyone, my name is Amirin Islam. I'm the 2022-2023 Junior Miss Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Edmond, Oklahoma, and I'm so proud to be an ambassador for our tribe. Thank you, Medell.
Like there's nothing on it.
Pinche Songo, Ayani TV Chat Chicos, Cynthia Moman, Tommy Touch Baby Dewados, I'm so sorry. Ujo Yadolados, Eufaula Yadolados, Seminole, Muskogee, Moman, Navajo. Hello everyone, my name is Ayani TV. I am the daughter of Cynthia and Tommy TV. I am Deer Clan and I belong to the Eufaula Band. I'm a psychology major and I'm so glad to be here. I know.
Representative. It's not on. Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ladies, could you tell us,
So is it on my side? No. Is there something to press on the?
can you tell us the
Because
ladies,
the audio is on. You can see that, but
what they
so
have
the audio for
to practice
the other laptop?
as far as they travel? I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can the ladies tell us, what days of the week they practice and what their goals are, what they're working towards as far as scholarships and the representation of our tribe? You can give the report, but if they want to, they're welcome to.
No, the camera's on.
Really,
The other camera's on.
they
You
don't,
know.
about the only thing that they focus on is the Lord's Prayer, which we're, trying to incorporate having a new video posted up on the, website for the upcoming, candidates that will be, going to the pageant.
Speak into your mic.
And, well, they just practice their speech, which, myself and Regina have been talking. And we hope to get Jeremy and Delaney to help, because I know that some of the council representatives have been asking for them to do a different introduction. So we hope it's hoping to incorporate that as well, whether it's one word or their whole speech. So, we're just trying to change things up a little bit more as far as that. And, it's not so much what you ask, but we're also, the applications are out online. We're having a little bit of trouble with the cover page. So if you guys hear that the print is really big, we're going to be working on that today to try to get it. If the application is out, once we get that page, we'll be printing them off. We'll be setting them at the convenience stores. They'll also be placed at the complex. Just so you know, the deadline is July 31st at 4:30. We have a PO box number that's on the application that they can mail it in, or it can be hand delivered to Judy Jones, she'll stamp it. since she received this for us. I think on the application, we have all the rules and things like that. We're planning to have two classes, where the girls, we're gonna let them do the talking, let them explain what they have gone through, what's expected of them. And we will also, something I feel is very important and kind of new, is that we'll also be giving the new contestants the bylaws. That way they can read over it and already know of all the things that's expected of them, because I feel like me personally, and have been in it for years with my daughter, a lot of people, parents and girls themselves think, oh, I just need to wear this dress, I need to wear a crown. But it's a lot more than that, and I believe that these girls will tell you that there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. Sometimes they have to give up birthday parties, doing things with family, because they do sign a contract with Seminole Nation saying, I'm going to abide by these rules, I'm going to do these things. And in a way, it goes kind of to the parents' house, they take it. So, but we do have these bylaws and this code of conduct in place. So we do our very best to try to go by those.
Do you have your code of conduct and all those things on the website as well, so that the ladies can see it before they even apply?
No, but hopefully we can have Mark, he's the one who uploads the application, so that they can download it if they download the application.
Thank you.
Representative Shaw. I know the last time we had gone where, there was some controversy, several of the lines in there, like your bylaws. Have y'all rewritten your bylaws? And if you have, if you present them,
No, I haven't. That's usually on the
approved by this council, so it will be a law rather than he said, she said, stuff.
We did go over
The
them,
council told me
I did
that
turn them
it
in,
wasn't on there.
but I noticed they're not on the agenda today, so I don't know.
It wasn't.
They were turned in.
The council house. It was logging in for somebody else.
You know, the bylaws worked up for, I know that two of you are on the committee right now. Have y'all asked any other, parents?
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't on there.
Sit down with, on that, and look at them.
How do I send this to the printer?
Oh, guys like me, I can, might have something to say.
I'm trying to send,
I kinda noticed
the
there's,
agenda
something in there
to the
today, and I was talking about Anita about,
not the
so
printer,
we
the
may
projector,
have to
sorry.
go over them again, and yes.
Right,
maybe we will
to the projector, I did.
To come and sit with us
Yeah, I
and
did.
help with that,
Well,
before we go and send
Yeah.
it to you. We didn't
It's not,
have,
it's,
it's like,
it's up there, but it's stuck.
we didn't really
I'm
have a whole
extending it
lot of
right now.
time to work on them, to get them to
Do I not
Attorney
extend?
General, to look over them. So, I'm glad we did.
Do I have it,
make
Elsie? Yeah.
today. So, hopefully, this next time, for the next council, we can do that.
I realize that this stuff is repetitious and we, it changes all the time. But I think that we need a basic core set in place where give you a little leeway to go this way or that way, but not so much that one or two people run the whole show. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I appreciate y'all putting time and effort into it.
Representative Fields.
I have two simple questions, okay? Short and sweet to the point. Number one, the young lady on your left, does she speak our native language?
No.
Okay? That's a good answer. Second, are we ever going to reinstate or restart senior apprentices? We used to have senior apprentices, they've been outdated. We still got quite a few elders still alive, so we should put them back on there. Yes or no?
At this time, no.
Good answer, thank you.
Representative Borba.
Yes, I got a message from Tina Tiger. She's our van, and she asked to be excused for this meeting because her son, learning was on, and she had to take him to, a medical clinic. So she asked to be excused from this meeting.
Well, she's not a council representative, so it's not needed. You know,
Yes.
everybody sees that she's not here.
Yes.
And that was one of the questions, I think, in their bylaws, is can the committee itself remove a committee member? And although it's in their bylaws, that's the option of this council to remove any of the committee members when the chief brings it to their attention. So we need to, that's another discussion, okay? Okay, if there's no further questions, we do have other committees here this morning, and we're going to try to keep on schedule as best as we can, because as you know, new business will start after the lunch break. I have encouraged the directors to be here, or directed them to be here after the lunch break, starting around 1 o'clock, okay? So if there's no further questions, then let's give these young ladies a hand, because they have representatives as well. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, committee. Representative McCoy.
SNGA.
SNGA, the gaming agency. They are here today.
And I noticed that Rudy's with them. Can you join them as well? Would that be okay?
Yes, he's here. Gentlemen, if you would just come up front here.
Yeah, that was supposed to be on somebody's calendar, but it wasn't on my calendar. So he allowed you to his laptop, he was in work. So we just get it before I get it. I didn't do it on my.
Good morning.
Good morning. Would you please state your name? We have a lot more people here today.
Yes, I am Jamie Hummingbird. I'm the chairman of the Seminole Nation Gaming Agency.
And I'm Rudy Montana Jr., the chief gaming regulator of the Seminole Gaming Agency.
All right, thank you both for attending today. My question is real simple. Last week, I believe it was, we received an email from Rudy stating what happened
I gotta
at
figure out what to do.
the trailer. And I'm a little disappointed because that's the only information we received, not even an update, it's like, we're working on it, we're working with law enforcement.
12 minutes.
I mean, anything, it was just like there, and it's been cricket, so I'm kind of highly disappointed that there's nothing. So what can you elaborate on?
Actually, there is nothing to be updated. There is no further information that we have observed or received from a light horse. There was a couple of extra details that we would have liked to relay to light horse, but we just haven't got a response back from them. But as far as on our side, after conducting further reviews, there is no further updates at the moment.
Okay, I don't know all the rules and everything like this, so pardon me for the questions, but is this something that NIGC needs to be aware of? Have they been contacted or alerted, or that's designated on the radar? Jamie, could you handle that?
Yeah, this of this nature is typically not shared with NIGC as far as a required reporting. It may be mentioned as part of any on-site observation visit that they may do, but as far as the attempted break-in is not anything that NIGC would be concerned about. They would simply refer that back to law enforcement. And I think what information that Rudy and the surveillance team have been able to pull and review, and information that's been supplied both written and the actual surveillance footage that's been supplied to light horse is about all that we can do at this point. And we're just waiting on law enforcement to do this job. And if they need anything more from us, we're ready to assist them any way we can.
Okay, our last question is when you say you're waiting on them, are you just gonna hope that they contact you, or are you at least diligently following up, like, any update, do you need anything from us, keeping the conversation flowing?
Yes, ma'am. We've shared on, I think, at least 3 separate occasions, phone calls and emails. The phone calls themselves weren't able to go through, but we did leave messages with the Light Horse Police Chief, as well as the investigator that was on site that day, taking the information from the staff on site. And we've contacted on, I think, at least three separate occasions, wanting to see if there's anything more that we can do. And as Ruby said, some information that we gathered through the review of the surveillance footage that we'd like to share with them, and if they contact us back, we'd be glad to share that with them.
Madam, I have no further questions.
I saw Representative Pittman, Representative Shaw, and Representative Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Humber. Can you tell us what your challenges are right now dealing with our gaming? What are you trying to accomplish?
Now, I think the biggest task that we have before us is the one that we've started actually about 2 months ago, and that's a complete review of all of our regulations. We're taking our internal controls one by one to make sure that they're up to date, that they're relevant, and that there's not any need for any particular changes. Same thing is going to be said for the rules and regulations themselves. All the other regs that we have on file, we are going to go through, because it's been a number of years since they've been touched and updated. So we're going to be opening those up for review for us. And then after that, I think it's just really kind of maintaining. We've had, just with any type of environment that we're going to be doing, any type of regulation on, you're always going to have little issues here and there. But so far, right now, everything that we have been able to identify, either through an internal audit or through a compliance review, we've been able to address with management, and hopefully we will be able to keep those issues down to a minimum. But right now, our biggest challenge, if you will, is to take an overhaul of all of our rules and regulations.
Representative Shaw and Representative Hill, and Representative
Well, those were asked, I know y'all talking about light work, and kind of, y'all aren't getting the responses or anything. Is there anything this council needs to do to get light work on that? Because I'd like to have that resolved, number one. And number two, are there any other outside law enforcement agencies that are, helping the investigators? Because that is federal property, it should have been, at least FBI should have been notified of that, so they can come down and make an assessment themselves. I work there doing law enforcement. I know we have more than one agency working jobs. Have y'all located, have y'all spoke to the outside agency to come in and do the investigation ourselves?
As far as have we contacted anybody outside the Seminole Nation law enforcement? No, sir. We're relying on those law enforcement agencies to contact anybody else that may be brought in. Our responsibility is first to the nation to make sure that we're processing everything under Seminole Nation law. If the Seminole Light Force wishes to contact BIA or FBI or anybody else, that's not necessarily our decision to make. But we have contacted Black Horse, and again, as far as the council addressing this and doing anything, I'm not going to say that you should or should not. It's just, we're reporting exactly what we've done, and if the council wishes to act in another manner, that's what should be up to this body.
I know I had a boss that like that, you can't give a report, and
This one right here?
you're down the road, so, that's why I'm asking why light force aren't, what do you call it? Aren't hurrying up, because they're not so fresh out of the county. I know a lot of them are working out here, but I know that they're, they got an investigator, they allocated extra money and everything else. So you, as a gaming agency, should be receiving some sort of updates or reports from the light board. And, I guess now that has to go to the executive office, because the executive office is the one that's gonna have to, light board to get on there to let us know what's going on with it. I'm totally in the dark. Did we lose anything? Or I don't know.
It's stated in the report, if you read the report from the gaming agency, that nothing was taken from the premises.
That's why we described it as an attempted break-in. It actually breached the building itself, but they were not able to get access to the safe or any of the cash that's maintained in the vault. And that's really attributed to some of the controls that we have in place, that the operations make sure that they're keeping the keys and keeping access to those areas very secure. So with those controls in place and the bill working, I think is one of the big reasons why we did not see any type of theft of funds or anything about it.
Well, the reason I know they breached the bill. Had there been somebody in there with the first degree burglary, but because there wasn't a second degree, but even second degree burglary, whether they take anything or not, they still breach the bill.
Correct.
So you should receive some sort of a report from the landlord, and they're gonna either close it or get it done, one of the two. So, that's why I said, whether anything is taken or not, that's beside the point. It's still a burglary.
Agreed.
And we need to stop that if somebody else decides to do it, they can do it, we can solve it. They didn't get it done, for that early. So,
I think when Whitehorse comes up during the budget, you can ask that question and they can, what they are allowed to with the ongoing investigation, share openly. They can share at that time. I know there is an investigation going on. Unfortunately, the perpetrator was totally prepared to not be identified at all. Totally covered the hand and foot. No DNA was able to be acquired or any of that kind of nature, so they planned it out to try to get away with it. To where the funds. Representative Hill.
First of all, I'd like to tell you all that it sounds like Mr. Chairman knows more about it than the library, okay? And anyway, what I like to say is the fact that what Mr. Shaw said, number one, even though y'all two are over in charge of all three casinos that we have here, y'all should still be asking the library, not only that, you should not worry, like y'all said, we're not worried about it, what happened, happened, y'all going back to your own business. That failure that occurred, okay? Anybody that doesn't have any law enforcement background will automatically tell you that he was an in-house robbery, whatever you want to call it. There's been rumors out here saying that what was broken into, all the money was missing, okay? Next thing you hear, no money was taken and all that. So whoever the perpetrator was and all that, that dressed up like Mr. Chairman said, he had a, well, he can say this, but anyway, I probably know a little bit more than he does. He had Halloween mask on, he had black hoodie and all that covered up. That person had to be employee and worked there, knew the layout, everything. And also making the hole coming through underneath it, drilling and all that, and excess you can't hang on the wall. You can always find out when employee was terminated or when employee was working there for a long time, who handled the budget and all that. Not only that, I don't know about live horse and all that, but on the north side of that trailer, you've got a camera over there at the head start. They could have used that for surveillance, who broke in, what time, etc. And also, like Mr. Shaw said, FBI should be notified anytime a felony occurs, whether we're a sovereign nation or not. We are Native Americans, and there's the U.S. government, federal. That's where we come from, so don't get too personal, say, man, you really me and all that. It doesn't work like that, okay? They need to know, you guys. That's all we're asking. That's asking you, look. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Just like Joe Friday used to say, just the facts. Because I heard a word called rumor in there. And once the rumor mill gets, it behooves you as a leader of this general council not just to take rumors and then go with it and run with it as if it's a fact or if it's the actual truth. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. And I appreciate the gaming agency for getting out the message. Investigation still undergoing. Hopefully we do catch this perpetrator. Representative Cootie.
One question. Do you not have security in these casinos, 24-hour securities?
S&G does not.
Why?
You'd have to ask them, but my guess would be staffing issues.
I mean, it seems like that would be one of the safety that we would have in place. And at one time, we had it when I worked as in gaming. So, I mean, that would be one of the precautions we should take and everything. So if it's, you know, like you said, you don't know why. But hopefully we can find out why, and maybe we can have securities in those places. We do need them.
The person was caught on camera leaving the facility, is what I understand.
How good is your cameras? I know they had problems with those cameras too for the surveillance.
That system at the
y'all
Woka
updated
facility is a new system, so its cameras are pretty clear.
What I'm hearing, it's not really up to par, but they were trying to replace and put new ones in and working better and everything, so I wondered about that. So, thank you.
Anyone else for gaming agency? Representative McSukiban?
If this works. Is it working?
Yes, it's on.
My question is, how is your relationship with S&GE? I know the last meeting it was brought up that there was boards hadn't been able to meet or get a hold of one another. How is that going, and how is it with this break-in that's happened? How is that going as well? Because, as you know, I know you guys do the surveillance, they do the security, so I appreciate we actually had working cameras when they didn't have security there.
After our last general council meeting, we had a collective sit-down, we being Commissioner Modlin and myself, the S&GE board with Robin Miller and Billy Shepard, all sat down with the chief and the vice chief to talk about our relationship moving forward. And one of the things that we decided to do at that time was to call a meeting with all of our management, all of our department heads, to stress the need for our lines of communication not only to remain open, but to remain really active. So we did that, I think, about a month ago. We sat down with all of the department heads from S&GE as well as the gaming agency and just said, moving forward, here's what we're going to do. We want to have good lines of communication going back and forth. Anything's going on one side, we need to talk about it so we might be able to help each other. And since then, we've had a couple of occasions where the general manager and Rudy, through our agency, have sat down and planned out our next group meeting between the department heads of S&GE and the S&GA. I believe the last discussion was just a couple of days ago. So we're keeping those things moving, and I think by having those discussions and really being able to come up with a joint agenda, so we can address anything that we may have on our list of questions, and we can address any questions that S&GE may have. I think once we get the momentum going, get our feet underneath us with these meetings, I think that's going to really kind of help really open up things, and we can jointly address issues as they come up before they become issues, if you will. So it's still going, and so far we haven't had any issues, no complications on that end. But I think from my perspective, we're moving in the right step, in the right place. I'll let Rudy add anything he may want to add to it.
No, we just decided we're going to meet on a monthly basis. A week prior to our monthly meeting is when the GM and I will get together, discuss any topics we have. And like Mr. Hummingbird said, we'll create an agenda, and then we'll meet the following week and go from there.
Oh, sorry. We recently received a letter from an employee or employee that's leaving. Some of those issues that were in there, have you all been aware or made aware of those things that maybe have been brought up on the radar as, you know, violations or anything that you have done? And I'm not sure if you all were made aware of what was going on.
As far as that letter, I got a copy of it a couple of days ago. And the only thing that I'm aware of is the instance where there was mention of the joint meeting that we had between the two bodies. The other materials, I would not have had any knowledge of because they're really operational. They're more day-to-day on that, you know, the management side of things. But I don't have any firsthand knowledge of that. But I do want to say real fast, one of the reasons why we've scheduled those meetings like we have about a week or so before our gaming agency meeting is because if there's an item that is brought up that needs to be addressed and put onto our agenda, that will allow us time to make sure that we get that on the agenda so that we can act on it quickly rather than waiting another month or so before we address it. And we've created a spot on our agenda for SNGE to come in and observe and talk and ask questions and be a part of our meeting. So we made that change to our regular schedule as well, just in the hopes that, you know, if there's anything that we might need to act on, we can act on it very quickly.
Okay, if there's no further, Representative Pittman?
Thank you. Just real quickly, you said you were going to go over the rules and regulations. I just wonder if you had a timeline.
We have a goal. You know, when we're going through these documents, and I'm not sure if you ever had a chance to take a look at our internal controls, but it's good bedtime reading material because it'll put you to sleep really fast. But going through those, it's going to take a few months to get through the entire document. So far, I think we've gone through about 3 sections. So we've got about 13 more to go. So I'm going to say we're probably going to be looking into the fall before we're complete. We're not necessarily going to wait until the entire thing is done. So if we are comfortable in moving forward with a section or 2 or 3, we can tackle it that way instead of putting out a full-fledged, you know, or full set of documents so that, you know, people can digest it a little bit faster than otherwise.
If we proposed a recommendation that you return at the next quarterly meeting to give us an update, if it's approved by our
They're always
chairman.
on the agenda under committees' reports.
And I've made the personal commitment to myself as well as to the agency to be here at every meeting. So I'll be here one way or another. Even if you don't have any questions for me, I will be here.
Thank you.
Representative Cootie?
Jamie, are you the only commissioner?
No, Christine Maudlin is commissioner as well.
Okay, and they're just the 2 of you?
Yes.
Chief, are you going to be able to nominate somebody for the 3rd one?
I believe I brought some nominations. They failed, but we will continue to try to get
I
a
know, but are you going to
nomination
bring more?
confirmed. We'll try to get a nomination confirmed.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further questions, gentlemen, we appreciate you being here this morning. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Taro?
Ms. Carter, I received your second report yesterday, day before actually, and have read it. Very detailed, appreciate that. It was way better than that first report. I wouldn't even call it a report. If I was a teacher, I'd call it an F, but that's beside the point. This is a very good report. I appreciate it. And can you just real quickly explain what the Terrell Department, what your function in life is for the nation?
Thank you. Well, my name is Vashonda Carter. I've been the Terrell Director since 2019. Since then, we do have a commission, and we do meet monthly with our commission. We have two representatives, Mr. Representative Anthony Conley, Danita Halata Harjo, and Terry Haney. Also, I have an administrative assistant, Ms. Ramona Ponkiller. During the time that I've been in this position, we have redone all of our applications, our brochures. We do have a QR code that's also included in your package. We've updated our bylaws and turned that into the general counsel as well. The only thing that we have pending to complete the updation of the tarot code is the Title 11A, so hopefully that will be on the agenda coming up soon, and I hope y'all vote yes, because the title hasn't been updated for 30 years. And so with all the difference in technology that has been updated, that's something that really needs to be done and addressed so we can be better able to serve the community. In the tarot department, we've had a lot of requests for gas and clothing vouchers. Due to the McGirt case, a lot of the people that have been released or homelessness due to COVID-19, they're coming in asking for assistance. So it has been, through word of mouth, a increase in, being able to provide gas and clothing vouchers for clients that are coming in.
Are you working, excuse me, okay, are you working with this 2% tarot tax? Can you explain or expound on that, how that works and how you are informed about a new construction going on within the nation? And does that include anybody that's working within the Seminole Nation, or is that just somebody that's working for the Seminole Nation in the Seminole Nation?
So the 2% commission fee is for any construction job within the nation. Like I said, a lot of our stuff was updated. I have talked to the procurement director. We have increased communication to make sure any contracts that are going through procurement are notified through tarot. Also, I watched the website. And we have other departments that are doing a lot of construction, and they have reached out to me directly, so I'm able to attend those bi-weekly, monthly, and quarterly meetings to make sure that the 2% is collected, so we are able to help out with clothing and gas vouchers. Now, the question as far as everything within the nation, that will have to be addressed to the AG, because I really don't know, but I have met with her a couple of times. We just met on May 22nd of last month, and she's going over the title so we can get a lot of those concerns addressed properly. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Pittman, and then Representative Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your report. Thank you. This is very well put together. My question is, when do you plan on sharing with the General Counsel what days and times and what employment opportunities you're looking for as far as training? When do you host trainings?
Well, that's still I have just moved to the new the old course building is now the new tarot office, so we have just got settled in within the last month or two. So we will have training courses coming up soon, probably in the next quarter. Right now, our main concern is just updating all of the titles and bylaws and applications so we can move forward for training.
Thank you.
Representative Hill.
Ms. Porter, my question is, I believe you're located in the same building where the Travel Authority used to be, and I believe there's another department also adjacent to you, okay, the job replacement.
Correct.
I found out that job replacement and also payroll, both departments don't issue gas vouchers and clothing vouchers. Am I right or wrong?
Correct. The difference in between the two programs is that job placement and training, I believe, is funded through BIA, so they have certain guidelines. Tarot is able to assist the youth, so with job placement and training, I believe Emma's here, but you have to be 18, so a lot of my clients are either 18 and younger that are trying to work their way through high school, or if they have already went through job placement and training and received 2 times the help, I think that's not my department, so I don't know for sure, but they tell me, you know, if they've been assisted twice through job placement and training, that they don't qualify for that program. And so at that time, I'm able to assist them with additional services. Oh,
Number one, who are authorized to receive gas vouchers and clothing from your department? I believe also the money that you receive, don't you get that from EEOC also?
yes, I have several funding revenue sources, the 2%, EEOC, application process for Tarot certified clients. So I have 3 different revenue sources.
Who is authorized to receive gas vouchers and clothing vouchers from your department?
In the package, I included the application for clients, and so it's going to be anyone that has a employment barrier, if they need training, and we usually go through the application process for approval. But it's also in our bylaws and the Title 11A, and it has the guidelines, so it's several different guidelines that they must obtain.
Okay, so all these answers that you gave me, okay, you never quoted how much individuals receive.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I thought you meant how do they qualify? The standard policy is that they have an option to either put gas and clothing, or they can just do clothing. So if they do gas and clothing, they get 3 gas vouchers for $50 each, and 1 clothing voucher for $100. If they choose just to do clothing vouchers, then that is a $200 voucher, or they can decide just gas, depending on the need that they have for their employment.
Is there a limitation, like, do they come like twice a month, or once a month, or what? I mean, how do you justify that?
Per the bylaws, they are able to receive help twice per lifetime.
So you said by bylaw. We have a tendency of sometimes not applying what the bylaws say. Sometimes we do it out of goodness of our heart, or being in charge of whatever. Does that ever happen or anything?
No, sir.
More than what that bylaw says?
No, and our bylaws have just been updated recently and submitted, so we're going by the updated bylaws. I would say about 6 months ago is when the new bylaws were submitted to the General Counsel Secretary. Yes, and it was approved through our the Tarot Commission. They set the bylaws and they made the updates, and I just submitted it to the General Counsel Secretary. Okay.
I'll call you a few times, okay? Every time I call, you never answer the phone. You're voicemail or whatever. And then I try to contact your secretary, whoever she may be. She never there either. Then I find out later, the director's leave of your department will somewhere, whether it's day off, doctor's appointment, whatever. Y'all normally send messages, y'all leave the assistant chief. Then you know where y'all will be at, where not whatever, right?
What I do is I send a message to the email as needed to the chief, or the chief of staff is who I usually direct first of all, and they are aware of any time that I'm out of the office. Also, I put a note on my door if I'm out of the office as well. My assistant is through the NACOA program, so she's part-time, so I do need more assistance in the office as needed, so I'm able to obtain and go to the different meetings that I have that are weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly as well. So I try to cover myself as much as possible, but I do always contact the executive office if I'm out and put a note on the door. Correct, Miss. Correct. I've met with her several times to update the Title 11A, and with my commission. Correct, to update the bylaws, the title, and she just came down on May 22nd.
It's by code and it's through the committee. She's just facilitating the conversation. She's had just 2 meetings that were scheduled to set up to revise that code.
You're welcome.
Representative Shaw?
Question I have, we've got a lot of
this, work going on out here. Like right here, they redid this gym, they've done, all this work out. Are those, contractors, do they submit their applications to you? I know in the past, anybody that worked for the tribe and federal monies were available to pay those people, that they had to have an approval from you and the board, licensed to, they did a little background check, you did license. And then they paid so much for that, and then if a contract was $1,000, they had to pay you, $100 of it or whatever. They had a fee that comes to you. Has your office or your board sat down and talked to the different contractors that are working around here?
At this time, we have had several businesses to become Terrell certified. We had to increase our meetings from quarterly to monthly. I think last month we met 3 times with the commission just to go over, to get companies Terrell certified. And the chief, he did approve that to increase the meetings so that way as they're coming out to work for the reservation, we can get them Terrell certified sooner. And in the package I provided you are also 5 large jobs that are pending and upcoming, and I've been working with those departments to make sure I receive the 2% commission fee as well.
Well, see, are they paying it? Let's put it that way.
At this time, I haven't received any payment, but
Well,
I have through the Terrell certified for them to be certified as fee, but none of the 2% commission.
Okay, I'm not just talking about just right here, because I know there's federal funds being used to pay those guys trimming trees up and down the road. And they need to be certified within our reservational boundaries, and they need to be paying their fair share, just like them guys that fixed that bridge down there. They should have been paying, and they never did. They said, oh, there's a fine line. The state says we don't have to. Well, the state can kiss off because they're no longer over this reservation. We are.
I would say that question would have to be addressed to the AG to see if that's within our titles and guidelines to do so. I have brought that up to executive to see if that's something that I should be collecting on as well.
Well, see, what I'm getting at, we're always broke, but there's people out here making money off of us. Why don't we make them pay us to have, to me, it's a privilege to have a job. I can no longer work the type of jobs I used to work, but those people, I know in one time it was in our laws that they had to pay or they didn't work in Seminole County. Then all of a sudden we got somebody in there that could have cared less what's going on and didn't start pushing it. Now, I know that you and I have sat down and we've talked about this. I've talked about it at length with you.
Yes, sir.
I've not gone to any lengths to bother anybody, but the thing is, today is a good day to go ahead and start. I think those people that have been coming in here, and if they're going to profit off of us, we need to profit back too. We need to pay ourselves, get ourselves paid. Like you said, they increased your, how many times a month your board meets?
A minimum of 1 time a month.
Well, even at that, those people could be paying that board. You wouldn't be having to go to the executive or this council. Just put it in your, once you get enough money built up, you can just put it into your budget, next budget, and we can move that away. But
to be able to do so, whenever the title comes up, I would need for the legislation to approve that, so that way I would be able to retain money in the budget to do so.
That's what I'm coming to. I don't know, I get frustrated and disgusted with our so-called good businesses that are doing us great jobs and aren't doing nothing for us.
All right, no further questions for Terrell? Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
you being here this morning. Any other committees, commissions, boards? Committees, commissions, and boards.
Sure.
Representative Fulbright?
Can we get an update on the Constitution Revision Committee, please?
What update is it that you need?
Excuse me?
What update is it that you need?
Or when are we going to meet?
When are you going to meet?
Yeah.
The next time we meet, I'm going to tell you as chair of this council, the next time we meet, and if you do get a quorum, then choose your officers, okay? So that you can continue to call your own meetings.
So how do we
Yeah.
get everybody together?
Okay? We're not
I
even having
mean,
a quorum at the Constitution
Right.
Revision Committee. The last few times
One
we've
time.
had it. But what we can do, we can call one, let's see, July is a tough time to call one, but we can call one probably about the second week of July after the everybody's holidays expression. I would say, what it is, the second Tuesday or so? We can call one around that period. And hopefully, everybody's bands will show up so that they can select their officers and meet at their delight.
Well, and just to let you know, I mean, I've been getting calls, and I know Lottie's been getting calls on when are we going to meet. Well, we don't even know how to get a hold of everybody. I don't mind calling, you know. I'm not the chair or anything. I'm just a member, but I don't know who's on.
Well, we'll call one. Chief will call another meeting in July, and then hopefully we'll have a quorum there so that business can be taken care of as far as officers are concerned. I saw Representative Cootie, then Representative Dethridge.
Yes, I think the last time I asked you, 2 meetings ago or last meeting, and you said in April. And so I spoke with Karen, asked her if there was a meeting that was held, and she said no, because I wasn't aware of anything. So, but I do know that those of us that are on committees, we have to be faithful to that committee to get a job done. And if you're not interested, please let your band know and let your band elect somebody else that's going to be interested in coming to the meetings and everything when it's held. Sometimes we don't get quorum, we can't work, we can't vote on anything. And so we're lacking progress, and this is how we are. When you get selected to be on a committee or a board, whatever, you don't show up, it makes it hard for the tribe itself. It affects tribe. So I hope that when we have meeting in July, all of you band who have selected your representative, try to let them know to be sure at that meeting. If not, have them resign and get somebody else that's going to be faithful. Thank you.
Representative Dethridge and then Representative Pittman.
BCR, other than myself.
BCR?
Ms. Scott.
Yes.
I know there's a growing concern about the way the Seminole Nation, actually all Indian tribes in Oklahoma, are being treated by our governor. Can you expound on the latest developments and how serious it is that our tobacco compact had gotten approval by the legislatures and got vetoed by the governor? How financially serious is that for the Seminole Nation?
Okay, as you all may have seen on the news, Governor Stitt has an adverse relationship with the tribes. He refuses to acknowledge our sovereignty, and our tobacco compact expired in December of 2020. We received our last payment in January of 2021. He stated on May 19th, I believe, in a press conference that the state is still collecting those tobacco fees at the wholesale level, and he admitted that he's collecting those on behalf of the nation, even though he knows that tribes should be exempt from those taxes when we sell them at our own stores. There was a legislation that went through the House and it was approved overwhelmingly, and then again through the Senate. The initial legislation was to renew the compacts that are about to expire in 2023, there's 17 of them, and then there's 3 that will expire in 24. The rest of them have expired already. So the House of Representatives wrote a bill that would extend it for 5 years. That would allow us to have time to have our compacts in place and have another governor elected by then. He didn't like that, of course, because it took him out of the loop. It also extended the compacts that expired, if I hadn't already said that. So it would have given us an opportunity to start receiving that money again. The Senate agreed with him and stated that they would just extend it for 1 year to allow us to negotiate. Some history on the tobacco compact. We have been negotiating since before the compact expired with his staff attorney, and he will not go above a 75 and 25 split. So meaning they would keep a majority of the revenue that's collected at the wholesale level when the tribes are doing the work selling the tobacco, this product. So that's a non-starter. With this new legislation that's gone through, it was approved overwhelmingly, 88-6, I think, by the Senate, and Governor Stitt vetoed it on Thursday. But we're hoping that there will be more support in the Senate, in the House, to come back and override that veto. What we would like for you all to do is to call your representatives and tell them how important it is. When we ended the compact, we were collecting $330,000 a year off of those rebates. That's money that the nation can use to fund products or programs and services that we're missing out on. So we need to recapture that, and it would be important for anyone here and out in the internet to call your representatives, your senators, and express the importance of overriding that veto.
Where do we appropriate that $330,000 to? Let our council representatives know who's going to be hurt here.
Okay, the money is usually given to general fund and who else is it given? I think it's, no, Head Start and Early Head Start are paid out of reserve funds. Those reserve funds come from gaming enterprise, sales fee, and wholesale tobacco. No, motor fuel. So the money that we're missing out on would go to supplement the budget for the general fund mainly.
Representative Pittman and Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you tell us again when our compact expired and what percentage were we receiving at the time? Because if 2575 is a non-starter, where were we when we were collecting those funds?
Okay, the compact expired in December of 2020. At the time of the expiration, the split was a 50-50 split, and that's what the bill that was vetoed would have renewed at. It was that same 50-50 split.
How long would it renewed it?
For a year.
For 1 year?
But it would give us time to negotiate, and it's statewide. This is a conversation that we're having with other tribes. I was elected the president of the Oklahoma Indian Tax Alliance, and we met in March, and that was the main topic of discussion. We had 17 tribes there, and we're going to meet again in July, and our committee has asked for that to be the topic again. I've reached out to some other tribes other than the 5 tribes for their perspective, tribes that have operated without compacts, tribes that manufacture their own tobacco products, just to see what they're doing and see how they've functioned when their compacts expired. We also met with United Indian Tribes of Oklahoma earlier in May, and that's a point of discussion there. It's all the tribes have this on their mind, and they're worried about either how they're going to move forward without their compacts, what they're going to do when their compact expires at the end of the year, and the 3 tribes that aren't expired until 2024, they're waiting to see what the potential is for them.
do you have a report on this already? The state has a Oklahoma Legislative Native American Caucus.
Okay.
And the chairman, the two co-chairs of that caucus is Representative Ken Luttrell and Representative A.J. Pittman.
Okay.
And they are unaware of this. They meet they meet once a month on Tuesdays, and now session is over.
Right.
So we need that report to be emailed to them so that they can first notify the Native American Caucus, because we have some members who are not native, but they represent Indian country. Then they go to the rest of the body.
They are still in special session, so they could potentially come back and override some of the vetoes that he's made. In his veto memo, he stated that he didn't think it was constitutional for them to meet regarding the compacts, because it's not just the tobacco compact that he vetoed, it was the motor vehicle compact that he vetoed as well. That doesn't affect us because we're not compacted with the state, but it affects the three big tribes, Cherokee, Chickasaw, and Choctaw. So his attitude toward tribes is left to be desired. He thinks that the issue is a race issue. It's not. It's a political issue. We're a sovereign nation, and we have a political standing that he needs to recognize. Mr. Shaw?
You just hit on that last part. Why do we need a compact? This is our reservation. Why do we need to buy cigarettes off of his wholesaler or their source where they're getting the money? We can go to Arkansas, Kansas, Texas, and buy our cigarettes and come across here, because Eastern Oklahoma is all Native American now. It's considered Indian country. So why do we need a compact with the state of Oklahoma? The state of Oklahoma should be the ones crying to make a compact with us, not us with them. And you're right. You say he's less desirable. He's not less desirable. He's undesirable. Bottom line. And it's not. And it's a race issue. I'm Cherokee. I'm going to show y'all what us Indians can do. Well, us Indians can't do nothing but sit here and cut somebody else down up there. He's not even handling his office in a dignitary manner. We have had our cigarettes taxed. We've had them confiscated in the past. Mm-hmm. We've got now motor fuels you're talking about. We don't have to buy motor fuel at the pump in Tulsa. We can go to Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and buy our gas. All we have to do, as much as we're paying out, is to get us a truck with a gas trailer on. I'll guarantee you, we start hauling these other tribes, they'll fall in, and I guarantee you there's some things that we do need to do, and that's protect this sovereignty. And making a compact is not protecting our sovereignty. That's saying that, well, we bow down to you. I'm not bound down to that man, no way, shape, or form. And I don't know about the rest of them, but that's me. That's my feeling. I've been fighting this for so long that I've kind of become hard-shelled about it. So do we have to compact? Has the federal government told us we have to compact? No, the federal government has not said a thing. They're the ones that are supposed to be our guardians, or so-called guardians of us, not the state of Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma came after our tribe. So by gosh, let's, I know that there's legislation coming up later on, and I appreciate Mr. Deathridge bringing it up, but I'm starting to lobby now that I don't want a compact with the state of Oklahoma, not on the terms that they wanted. If they want to get out here and work for that money like they're making us do, they wouldn't want it. So I'll get off this soap opera.
The potential for not compacting and trying to buy cigarettes or product outside of the state and bringing them in is that they could stop us at the state line from bringing those in, and we would lose that. I remember when the motor fuel compact first came up, and we tried to buy from the refinery, and they shut us down. So that's the potential there, is not to be able to have that. And I know that other tribes are looking at what you're looking at, and we're going to work together and try to figure out a way. It's not that we're bowing down. We're government to government working together to benefit each other.
But the state is not a government that oversees us.
Right.
We should be overseeing them because we have more, well, the Supreme Court said this is your house. Mm-hmm. You do as you please in your house. You won't let me come in your house and tell your husband he can't watch TV. That's what they're trying to do to us. That's just an example. And so, you know, I am, like I said, I get very irritated with those people.
The tribes is trying to expand upon what the Supreme Court did rule, because the Supreme Court will not tell you themselves what you just said. They're going to say as it pertained to major crimes and criminal activity within Indian country. And that was what was before them when they was making the judgment, and that's what they continue to say. That's what it pertains to. So it's up to us as sovereign nations to expound that and go after it. And we're doing that in a lot of different cases. I think at Banshee's meeting, we kind of went over those cases. And at that Saturday meeting, we went over some of those things as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to know, let you know for your information, for those that don't know, Willis Deathridge is the commissioner, Stephanie Lambert's the commissioner, Dan Factor's the commissioner, and I'm the 4th commissioner. Thank you.
We have Representative Fixico.
There was a question that related to the elders. Can we have tags made for them? Everybody has one, like domestic violence, and you got others. The elders was asking if they could have tags made for them, if it was possible.
The elders?
Yes.
Okay, if you will give me the contact information, I'll come over and ask you about that, and we can certainly work on that.
Thank you.
I will say this, is I think a lot of thought ought to be taken into consideration. One thing that happens with other tribes is when they have their identity on their tags, and it's great that we do. Some people, there's a lot of predators out there, you know, that look at that tag and they try to take advantage of whoever's driving that vehicle. But that should at least be discussed. Yeah, because I know it's actually really happening in Indian country. And I'm not talking about law enforcement, I'm talking just folks, bad actors.
SNGE.
Okay, SNGE, Gaming Enterprise.
Good morning. My name is Robin Miller. I'm one of the 2 SNGE board members. The other one is Billy Shepard, and he was unable to be here today.
Well, I called you up here. Who's your gaming manager now?
We still have an interim, and it is Katie Merdanian.
Well, it's been quite some time. What's taking so long for y'all to hire somebody?
We've been unable to get any applications that are, I would say, experienced or quality applications.
And that you were, I thought you might have been holding back because you were trying to hire an outside gaming group to try to run our business here.
No, we haven't been holding back on filling the position. Like I said, we haven't been able to find anyone. Our recruitment efforts haven't been successful. I think the applications that we have received, they've been supervisors or shift managers at other properties, and that's the best that we've gotten.
What has our interim got?
She's worked for the property, I do believe, for 8 years, and she has operations experience at our casino.
I thought she was at Cornwall before she went up there to the big job.
She's been working at all 3 properties. She was the operations manager.
Well,
so she was knowledgeable of all of our operations at all three properties.
Well, I'm going by hearsay. I hear she doesn't know jack, just straight up. That she doesn't know her job, and all she's done, that's why you can't get people to come put in because of unprofessionalism in our administration.
I think we've had a hard time for a long time of hiring quality people at the casino. So what we've tried to do is affect change at the property so we can be more attractive. Since I've been at the property, this is the third gaming enterprise manager that we've had. So I've been involved in 2 searches, and we're not getting, we don't have a favorable reputation as far as an employer. So we're not very attractive. It's been very difficult for us. What we've recently done is we have hired an independent advisory consulting company that can assist with operations. If you go back to that January 22nd report that I did, you can see the vacancies. Those vacancies still exist today, and I think we have 2 more now than we did then. So it's a very challenging environment. So what we're doing is we've gone out to help someone advise us and bring in the experience that we currently don't have.
Is your interim here today?
No, she's not.
I know I asked her to be at a meeting last Saturday. I called up there and the word came back to me, said she doesn't have to speak to you. Oh, that's all right. I don't care if she talks to me or not, but I think she owes the nation an explanation on a lot of things that are going around.
Well, I would hope that with our board, because we were nominated by the chief, we were appointed by the general counsel, I think it's our responsibility to speak with you directly, not the gaming enterprise manager.
Well, I'm not trying to do day to day. I'm just letting you know that,
absolutely,
that these things are happening and things are being said, and that includes you. I'll just tell you straight up.
I would imagine so.
So, but the thing is, why isn't she here today? She's not even on this list right here.
Because it's the S&GE board that is here. We're representing the property.
Yeah, y'all don't run day to day, and y'all aren't supposed to run day to day anyway.
Excuse me?
Y'all aren't supposed to be running day to day.
And we're not running day to day.
So those are some of the things that, she should be here to answer any of the day-to-day things that are being said. I don't like to talk about somebody behind their back. I wish she was standing right there in your place, because I would have talked with her. But right now, I heard she went on vacation. This is her second vacation this year. And your bylaws doesn't say that. They can only have one vacation, and if they want to take days off, they ask for days off at that time. Who's working as your interim if she's on vacation?
We've appointed our director of HR and our director of, our facilities director to be responsible while she is out of the office.
Don't you think somebody that's from there should be here to represent?
I do not. That's why I'm here.
Your business? No, I'm going to stop right there because I'm disgusted, bottom line, from everything I'm hearing to everything that's going on. I do know some of the things that are going on are true, that they're talking about, and so they said, she's running more off than want to come on. How much money did you spend to have a job fair?
I can get you that information.
No, I'd like, I think the council needs to know, that's what I would ask her. How much money did you spend? The other thing is, what authorized her or your board, is it in your budget to give this banquet? I said, I'm all for those kids, that banquet and all that, but is it in your budget? Was it in your budget, or is it just something that came
What banquet is that?
Huh?
What banquet is that?
The senior banquet?
JOM banquet?
Yeah.
Our donation to the banquet? We do have a donation and scholarship line within our budget, and that was within that budgeted amount.
Okay. Now, see, I didn't know that was, I've been asking that. Nobody called up there that nobody knows.
I've tried to make ourselves available. I know in the reports that we send out and that presentation that we did in January, my email address is there, my cell phone number is there. I have gotten a few phone calls from council members with questions, but not a lot. So we are trying to make ourselves available for questions.
The other thing is, she's running more employees off than she's keeping. And I heard it's a buddy-buddy system up there, and nobody can talk to her unless they talk to you first.
That's not true. And I would like to have this conversation if you would like to. We could have it one-on-one. We've got to be very careful. This is a public forum. You are talking about HR issues. And it's not that we don't want to, or I don't want to explain anything, but we've got to be very careful about what we discuss here today. And like I said, I will have any conversation and answer any question that anybody has.
Representative McCoy.
Yes, I just want to piggyback a little bit off of that. Robin, I know you were here back in January, February, giving that presentation. And you had said that we had an interim gaming GM, sorry. And she was appointed back in October, and in February you said you're looking. I just find it really odd, and I know you say we kind of have a lower reputation, I guess, and people maybe don't want to work for us for a number of reasons, but that was only, you stressed that that was only an interim position. So back in October, and we're here writing on February, and the posting for that job didn't go out until February. So from February till now, I mean, I don't know how many, if you've gotten 2 or 20, but of the people that have applied, there's nobody that you thought, I guess, fits the whatever you want qualifications, or?
The applications that I've seen, and I'll share those with you on an individual basis.
Well, I don't need to know them.
I'm just saying, the applications that we received, I think our interim gaming and enterprise manager is more experienced than what we've received. So what we've done is we've got an independent advisory company that we've recently signed a contract with, and they're going to assist with the search. And I think our biggest problem is going to be salary. I think that's been a hindrance for us.
Is HR not involved in this
HR
process?
HR has done some recruitment, yes, and I know that in addition to Indeed and our website, we've also gone out to Casino Careers, and that's usually been very helpful with filling those positions. But like I said, it's just the quality of the application.
Okay, and I know you're up here as the board, but even though the GM is not, the interim GM is not here, you said there was a, I guess, a replacement right now while she's out on leave or whatever she's doing. So you said the HR director was, and the facilities.
Yes.
Are either one of those here so that they can join Robin up at the front so we can ask a few questions or relay some information that we've been getting from band members? Just like we did with SNGA, we brought up the board and Rudy, so can we have the same courtesy extended? Chair?
Are they here?
I'd like to
No,
have them
they're
up
not
if they're here.
They're not here today.
The gaming enterprise HR or the facilities manager's
No,
not
they're
here
not
today? Oh, I'm sorry, casino HR, is it the same? The gaming enterprise
Yeah, it's the
HR
same
director?
thing. Yeah,
If
it's
they're
the
not
same thing.
here?
No, they're not here.
No, they got there yesterday.
You yield the floor.
No, I
Representative
don't. Okay, so we'll just go on if nobody's here from Enterprise to represent except someone from the board. We're just getting too many complaints of just people being accountable, whether they're at the lower level or their upper management. They just kind of want to be treated, whatever is implemented for the employees, they want the upper management to abide by that. There's inappropriateness going on, there's favoritism going on, there's lack of responses to email going on, there's belittling going on. There are a ton of things that I think add to the search of why you're not getting candidates for the to work over at the casino, because of how we operate. And so I think whether you're the board, so I don't think you're getting into day-to-day operations, but your team, or if you're managing the interim director or the HR or whatever, there is a lack of communication getting from you to them and everyone else being on the same page. They're just complaints of the cleanliness and the hospitality. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of added things that make people don't want to work for the nation, along with the pay that we can offer them. So, you know, if you want to have this conversation, I guess afterwards, because nobody is here except you, then I guess we'll have to have that conversation. But I would like to have a few members join me, because I think there are others here that might have those same concerns. And like you're stating, I guess some of these we have to talk off camera about.
I mean,
so I yield the floor.
There are a lot of occurrences at the casino that I'm aware of. There are things that I can share with you. There are things that I can't share with you. Like I said, I'm going to stress again the forum we're in. And all I'm going to ask is that the council, because I know you're getting complaints. We all get complaints. Out of any department that we have, I know you're getting complaints. And I know the complaints are escalating at the casino because our vacancies continue to rise. One of the things that I'm asking you to do is to call me. Let's discuss it. Instead of waiting until a quarterly meeting, let's address this one-on-one immediately. And I probably have more answers than you think. And remember, when we're hearing things, to please take that with a grain of salt. Everything you're hearing is not true, and there's two sides to everything. That's all that I'm saying.
Representative Cootie, then Representative Hill.
Robin, what you're saying is, you know, we'll discuss this from a one-to-one person, but it's, you know, it's not a good thing, because if I discuss something with you, just between two of us, but I'm representative as council, and the rest of the council here needs to know what the information is, what I've asked or whatever, and it's usually, you discuss things between the two people, and then when you say, well, this is what happened or whatever, and this, you know, just like you said, two sides to every story. And it's a hearsay and everything. But one of the things that I know, that if you're working in a department, you know how you work with your employees, how the environment is. And so these people that would like to say, and I know their complaints would be because they want to have a better place to work at, not hostile or anything like that, and that seems to be what's coming from some of the complaints I'm hearing, is that hostile working environment. And a lot of our good employees are leaving, and we shouldn't have that if there's nothing going on. But they know better than you, me, because you're not day-to-day operator. They know what's going on. So when they try to bring it out, we say they're wrong, they don't know, you know. So I'm wondering how many people have we lost since all this hostility work environment. The manager, they said she appoints people to do their job because she admitted she don't know this and she don't know that, and we have other workers there appointing their job to other workers, and the other worker says it's not in their job description and everything. So, I mean, I just feel like that if a person working in a place, they know better than anybody what's going on. It's day-to-day operation. You work with a person closely. You know what is going on and everything. So when they complain, they're told you're going to get terminated, or somebody retaliate and they get terminated. So, I mean, I'm just saying that all of us here on council, sometimes we don't listen. But we should learn to listen to whoever's bringing their complaints. It might be, you know, true. We don't know. We don't do anything about it, and it just goes on. And I understand that we got a lot of employees are gone and a lot of positions are open. So why is that? I mean, it shouldn't be that way if it's a good place to work. Go ahead, answer if you want to answer.
I do want to answer,
Go
and I
ahead.
do want to talk about some of the employees that are no longer there. And I think if, I'm trying to be careful about what I say, because now we're going to start talking about job performance, we're going to start talking about a lot of things that I can't address here.
It's okay, you don't need to address it. You've already elaborated on that. You've already elaborated on that.
What's that?
Elaborated on areas of personnel issues. Hold up, Representative Sampson, you still have the floor, Representative Cootie.
One other thing. So who is in charge now since the manager is on vacation?
The director of HR and the facilities director.
So why can't we have the director of HR come if we want to ask? Since we don't have the manager, she's on vacation. Can we not have her come up since she's?
I don't know that those two people can get here before the end of the council meeting today.
The manager, the HR for the casino's not here? Yeah, ma'am. HR? Yeah, okay.
You yield the floor, Representative Cootie? You
Ma'am?
yield the floor?
Yeah, so anyway, that would be the thing that I would say is people who are complaining have been there a long time. And I don't go to our casino that often because I do know if I play, I do play. And if I win, I couldn't collect because I'm on council and everything. But I had complaints over and over and over, and I know some of them are true, but there was nothing I can do. And they would always say, don't say anything because I don't want to lose my job. And it shouldn't be that way. If there's something going on within our casinos or whatever, and that's the only entities that we have that bring in revenues. So if we lose it or for whatever reason, you know, the tribe, they depend on the casinos, and we got to make it work. So that's all I'm saying.
I think to answer that question,
Okay.
I think one of the things that I want to say, one of the things that I've tried to do since I've been appointed to the board, and I introduced myself to the council back a year and a half ago. I've got over 30 years experience doing this. I've taken your responsibility very seriously. And it's the first time that I've been involved in a position with the tribe. So I've really tried to make an impact. And I think as we do change, and I think it's a systematic change at the casino, and I go back and I've heard that no one likes to hear this, but let's go back to the beginning of I-40. And we're 25 years into gaming on a major interstate. And everybody knows what the casino looks like. And what I want to do is grow. Based on my experience, we should be making more money there. But we've been tripping over ourselves for the last 25 years. We keep doing the same thing. I hear from almost every one of you. Here we go back to the sign, and the sign is coming, but we've had problems with supplies, and that should be another few weeks. But why is everything the same? Why do we continue to get in trouble? Whatever we're doing has not been working. So to make changes, yes, I'm going to take a lot of flack from you guys. I know that, and I'm willing to do that. And what I'm hoping and what I'm trying to do is move us in the right direction. Are we getting complaints? Absolutely. Would you like to talk about those complaints? Absolutely. But I don't think we can do it right here without going into executive session. And if somebody would like to do that, I'm here and ready and available.
I think, you know, and we don't always do this, but there is a rules of order in the way that we conduct business here. And if you've been talking for a period of time, there is a time limit in the rules of order. We haven't been, you know, putting the gavel down and saying this and that. You know, at this council, we're trying to give people liberty to speak, and then twice on the same subject matter. So if you keep coming back, you know, you're beginning to press, you know, whether that rule of order is going to have to be, you're going to have to be called on it. Representative Cootie?
Yes. What you're saying, I agree, because I came back in 2004. The tribe casinos were in agreement with the NIGC to pay monies because they got in trouble. And so I worked very hard to get the other two casinos up and running. I managed and I worked hard, made sure, and I worked with NIGC day in, day out to make sure that I did the right thing and not get the tribe in trouble. But I've been with gaming from day one. I started with the Seminole tribe of Florida when they started the big Iowa State bingo. I've worked with them, then it went into casinos, gaming, and I've been working with them ever since. So I've been gaming for that long, for that 30 some odd years, whatever. And things changes all the time and everything. I worked as a commissioner, as a regulator, but the tribe has kicked me out 3 times and I'm still hanging around. I don't know why. But anyway, things can change because I've seen it. And like I said again, you have to work with people, communicate, whatever it takes to get it right. So I did the best I could for the tribe. And I always think, because we as workers or whatever we are, if we do wrong, we can walk away from it, but the tribe ends up holding the bag. They have to pay the price. And I don't want to see that either. So I'm saying is that whatever the problem is, we need to correct it, get on the right side, and go from there and have a good working relationship no matter where we're at. But here we go again, like you said again, we can't move because somebody just dislike you and they'll say, we want her out, whether you're doing the job or not. And I feel like I did my job, and I'm not working for the tribe anymore. I'm working for Sac and Fox Nation, and I've been there 7 years. So I just want to say, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, yeah, things got to change. Thank you.
Representative Hill, then Representative Sampson.
Okay, number one, to start off with, okay, we don't need to go on one-on-one and message or cell phone, okay, I'm not into that. Like, young lady, Representative Lawton said, what I have to add, the whole council people here, representatives need to know. Not the type of person who's sitting at home telling you, yeah, I heard this, I heard that, and you tell me this and that. One of us can be lying, the other one can be telling the truth, okay? I would prefer to put it out on the floor here and be truthful about it, okay? Yes, I have heard many numerous problems that are occurring at I-40 Casino and also the other two, River Mist and the Traders. I will put those two aside, talk about the main one, I-40. You might have had working with Enterprise or gaming agency for 20, 30, 40 years. He doesn't bother me at all. What happens now, what I've been hearing, we talk about the lady with the GM, the police interim, that's not here, she's on her second vacation, whatever. As I followed up and all that, I found out who approved of her vacation. It was the IT. IT is no longer there. About 2-3 weeks ago, that person resigned. Okay?
That's not true. The IT director did not approve her vacation.
Let's go ahead and, let's go ahead on personnel issues, just leave that with the enterprise.
Okay, we'll put that aside, okay? Y'all don't want to hear the truth, that's fine. But don't call me or text me, okay? We had 2 general council representatives on my right. Mr. Ford, Ms. Lawton, Tuesday, okay? Her questions to you were, is there an HR director? I believe y'all had one up there at I-40, am I right or wrong?
Yes, we do have an HR director.
The question was, when we had the HR director, he said, they're not here. That's the exact words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that young lady sitting over here on my right? And somebody told me earlier, she's the HR director of I-40. If she's the director, that means only one thing. You don't even know who your people are that work under you.
Well,
Is she a director?
Chair.
Dawn, is that you?
Oh, is that you? Don? Stand up for you? That seems like right there, ma'am. Your eyesight's on, right?
All right, we don't need the extra.
Okay,
Point of
so
order.
if I can talk, that's Dawn Crenshaw. And Dawn, how long have you worked for the property? Since February. And We're not involved in the day-to-day. I don't come down to the casino. I have had emails with Dawn, and I've met Dawn in person once, and I wouldn't have recognized her unless you pointed her out. 7 months? February, March, April, May, 3 months. Like I said, we're not involved in the day-to-day. I'm not at the property every day. I'm at the board level. I was not involved in the hiring process we're only involved in the hiring process for the gaming enterprise manager.
Miss, what is your title? You're the HR director.
I did not know that she was here. And I explained.
All right, that's already been cleared up. We don't need to keep going back and forth on whether somebody knew she was here or wasn't. We're actually under reports of committees, which is boards and commissions. So you have the chairman of the S&GE before you right now. We do have directors coming up at 1 o'clock. It's under new business. And usually, usually those areas there are, as I understood it, it was directors and it was directed towards us as the executive office and the functions of the tribal government side, not necessarily the entities of the nation. Okay, we have one more question here by Representative Borba, and we're getting close to time. About 15 minutes is what we're supposed to spend on each topic matter.
Yes, Robin, when is your next board meeting that if anyone wanted to come and ask you questions in a meeting, they could?
The board meets third Monday of each month at 11 o'clock at I-40 Casino.
I'm not trying to overlook you, but I called on you after Representative Hill. Did you still have something, Representative Sampson?
Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate what you have told us this far. I do understand there's a lot of things you cannot say in this type of a meeting with the public to make us look like we're professional and handling our business with this tribe in confidence on certain things that we need to discuss. It should be set aside to give you that, I guess you would say, thank you, so that we will not get out our own term. Because we need each other to keep each other together. And I do thank you for that. I do feel like we should have went into executive session, though, because that's why a lot of people get very upset with us, because we say things out of turn. Thank you for being here.
Okay, any other further questions?
Chair.
We're going to move on. Representative Fixico.
I like to say I'm not a casino person, and I've seen so many arguments out there. We have someone here that addressed issues, and confidentiality she wanted to leave out, and it got personal. I think that if we just leave it in the hands of the board and let them do their job, anybody can say something, the wind blow, and everybody listens. This has got to stop. I think I have confidence in these board members. I think we can work with them. I think they can work together. There's problems out there, yes, but give them that opportunity to do it. We can't solve nothing. They have to. So whatever's broke, they'll fix it. Mado.
Okay, we're going to move on. We spent a lot of time on this unless there's something that's directly as a question, not on personnel, but to the chairman of the board. Okay, thank you, Robin. All right, it is 11 minutes after 12. We have shared that the directors will be here at 1 o'clock. What's the desire of the council at this time?
Lunch.
Someone break for lunch, and then We'll try to come back at 1:15. Okay.
Chair, real
Yes.
quick. Will a member of the finance, well, I guess so.
Yes,
Two
finance-
members will be
finance.
here. Will they be here? Because some of it involves like our resolutions coming up, and I can question them at that time.
There is a member of the Finance Committee that sits on this council.
Okay, I just
But
wanted
if
to
you ha-
double check.
If you have a question and want Ms. Coleman maybe to respond to it, she is here and she has been sitting here all morning.
I think we'll just relay it and she can go. That's fine. But,
Okay, is that it for the morning session then? Okay, is that consensus? No objections? Okay. We will recess for now for lunch. Be back at 1:15 to start the new business.
Hello.